I've always believed that you can tell when someone is lying to you. A change in tone. A glance that doesn't quite meet your eyes. A too perfect story that seems rehearsed. I believed I was good at spotting lies, until the day I almost married one. Her name was Emily. We met at a coffee shop 2 years ago, one of those meet cuties that people post about online. She spilled her latte on my laptop. I laughed instead of getting angry, and we ended up talking for hours. By the time we left, it felt like we had known each other for years. She was everything I thought I wanted. Beautiful, warm, the kind of person who remembered your favorite drink and asked about your day before talking about hers. We moved fast. Within a year, I'd moved into her apartment, and we were talking about marriage. When I proposed, she cried, the kind of tears that made you think you'd just given someone the world. I didn't know then that she'd already given her, I do, to someone else. The morning of the wedding. The day started like something out of a movie. My best man, Ryan, was pacing around my apartment, triple-checking that I had the rings, the vows, the tux. Friends were dropping by, joking, taking photos. I was nervous, but in the good way, the kind of jitters that mean your life is about to change for the better. I remember standing in front of the mirror, adjusting my tie, when my phone buzzed on the counter. A message from an unknown number. At first, I ignored it, probably a spam text or a wrong number. But it buzzed again and again. When I picked it up, I saw it, a single image, attached to a short line of text. The image was Emily, in a white wedding dress. Not the one she was wearing today, but close enough that it made my stomach tighten. She was holding hands with a man I'd never seen before. Both were smiling like people do when they think they've found forever. The text read, "Ask her about her first wedding." Denial. I stared at the photo so long that Ryan had to snap me out of it. "Man, you good?" he asked. "Yeah," I lied. "Just pre-wedding nerves." Inside, my mind was spinning. I wanted to believe it was fake. Maybe an ex playing a sick joke. Maybe someone photoshopped her face onto another bride's body. But the date in the bottom corner told a different story. Just 11 months ago. I scrolled up, hoping for more context. Instead, there were 3 more photos, each from different angles, all showing the same couple at the same ceremony. Emily laughing. Emily kissing him. Emily slipping a ring on his finger. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight, my thoughts scattering. I tried calling the number. No answer. The first doubts. It was like a film reel started playing in my head, moments from the last 2 years that suddenly didn't fit the way I remembered them. The weekend she went to visit her aunt. The phone call she took in the hallway, speaking in a voice softer than she used with me. The way she always dodged questions about her past relationships, claiming she didn't like to dwell on negativity. And the time, 3 months ago, when she left her phone unlocked on the couch and I saw a text notification from M. She grabbed it so fast I barely registered it. At the time, I told myself I was overthinking. That trust was the foundation of any marriage. Now, that trust felt like sand slipping through my fingers. A smile that didn't reach her eyes. When Emily arrived at the venue that afternoon, she was radiant. Everyone turned to look at her, phones out, whispering about how lucky I was. She smiled at me from across the room, that same smile that had melted me in the coffee shop. But for the first time, I noticed something behind it. A flicker. A shadow. Something that didn't reach her eyes. Ryan leaned over. "Dude, you're pale. Are you sure you're okay?" I nodded, forcing a smile. "Yeah, I'm fine." But I wasn't fine. I was standing there, surrounded by family and friends, about to commit to someone I suddenly realized I didn't fully know. And somewhere in the crowd, my phone was still buzzing in my pocket, another message from the same number. The second message was shorter than the first, but it hit harder. He's looking for her. She's still married. I stared at it for so long that I forgot the noise around me. My hands were cold, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. Ryan noticed I wasn't breathing right. "Man, talk to me," he whispered. I shook my head. "Not now." I needed to think. I needed to figure out what the hell was going on. But how do you process something like this on the day you're supposed to be pledging your life to someone? Trying to act normal. Guests were filing into the chapel. Music played softly in the background. My mother came over, adjusted my tie, told me she'd never seen me look happier. I smiled like a liar. Inside, my head was a storm. Every laugh, every congratulations felt like a countdown to disaster. I texted the unknown number. "Who are you? What do you want?" No reply. Instead, another photo came through. Emily and the same man, this time in front of a small house with a "sold" sign. They looked proud. In love. Like they were building a life together. The flashback. Suddenly, I remembered a night about a year ago when Emily came home late, her hair slightly damp, like she'd been caught in the rain. She told me she'd gone out for drinks with coworkers. I'd asked, "Why didn't you answer my calls?" She'd smiled and said, "My phone died." Back then, I didn't push. I told myself relationships were built on trust. Now I realized I'd been building mine on ignorance. The groom's choice. I had two options: stop the wedding before it started, or confront her when it mattered most, in front of everyone. The first would be clean, private, maybe even merciful. But a part of me, the part that felt humiliated, betrayed, wanted the truth to come out where no one could twist it. So I decided to wait. Ryan, sensing something was off, pulled me aside. "If you're having doubts, you can walk away. It's not too late." "I'm not walking away," I said. "I'm waiting." The ceremony. The music swelled, and Emily began her slow walk down the aisle. Every step echoed in my ears. She looked like a dream. My dream. And yet, I couldn't stop picturing her in that other dress, with that other man. When she reached me, she took my hands and whispered, "You okay? You look nervous." I forced a smile. "Just excited." The officiant began the ceremony. Words I'd always imagined would feel magical now sounded mechanical. My heart pounded. I could feel my phone like a burning coal in my pocket. The vows. We had agreed to write our own vows. Emily went first. Her words were beautiful, touching, filled with promises about honesty, trust, and forever. And all I could think was, "You're already married to someone else." When it was my turn, I reached into my pocket, not for my vows, but for my phone. I unlocked it and held it between us so she could see the screen. Her eyes flicked down, and in an instant, all the color drained from her face. The guests murmured. The officiant froze. I didn't say anything at first. I just let her look at the photo. Then I whispered, "Who is he?" She blinked rapidly, her grip tightening on my hands. "We should talk about this later," she said through a clenched smile. "No," I said louder this time. "We're going to talk about it now." The first crack. Emily glanced around, trying to keep her composure. "It's complicated." Ryan stood up in the front row. "Complicated?" "He's got pictures, Emily." Her eyes widened in panic. "Please," she said, her voice trembling. "Can we just—" But before she could finish, the chapel doors creaked open. The man at the door. The sound of the doors opening cut through the silence like a blade. Every head in the room turned. A man stepped inside. Tall. Broad-shouldered. His suit was slightly wrinkled, as if he'd been traveling for hours. His eyes scanned the crowd until they landed on Emily. Her reaction told me everything. Her knees buckled. She gripped my arm, her nails digging into my skin. "Michael," she breathed. "The stranger speaks." The man, Michael, walked slowly down the aisle, his gaze locked on her. The tension in the room was suffocating. "I'm sorry to interrupt," he said, voice steady but cold. "But I believe that woman is my wife." Gasps erupted from the guests. My mother clutched her chest. Ryan muttered, "Holy SH," before catching himself. Emily shook her head rapidly. No, it's not what it looks like." Michael pulled something from his pocket, a folded piece of paper. He held it up for everyone to see. "Marriage certificate. Emily Grace Thompson. Married to me. February 14th, last year." The lies unravel. I turned to her, my voice shaking with rage. "Tell me this isn't real." She opened her mouth, closed it again, tears pooling in her eyes. "I can't explain," she whispered. Michael's jaw tightened. "You ran, Emily. You took money from our account and disappeared. I hired people to find you. And then someone sent me a photo of you in another wedding dress." The realization hit me like a punch. The unknown number. It was him. "You've been texting me," I said. He nodded. "I wanted you to know before it was too late." Emily's desperation. Emily's voice rose, pleading. "It's not like that. Michael, he was controlling, obsessive. I left for my own safety. I didn't tell you because I thought you'd judge me." Michael laughed bitterly. "Obsessive? You drained our joint account and vanished. That's not running for safety, that's theft." The room buzzed with whispers. My stomach churned. I didn't know who to believe. Both seemed capable of lying. The breaking point. The officiant cleared his throat awkwardly. "Perhaps we should pause." "No," I interrupted. My voice was louder than I intended. "We're not pausing. We're ending this." Emily reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "Did you or did you not marry him?" I demanded. Her lips trembled. "Yes. But that's all I need to hear." I turned to the guests. "I'm sorry, everyone. There's no wedding today." Chaos. The moment I stepped away, the room erupted. Some guests left immediately. Others crowded around for details. Michael stayed still, watching Emily with an expression I couldn't read, anger, maybe, or vindication. Emily followed me into the hallway, tears streaming down her face. "Please listen to me. I was going to tell you after the wedding. I just didn't want to lose you. You lost me the second you lied," I said. "The second you decided your secret was more important than my trust." The last blow. As I walked away, Michael stopped me. "For what it's worth, I'm sorry you got dragged into this. She's good at making people believe what she wants them to." "Yeah," I muttered. "I noticed." I thought that was the end of it. But later that night, I'd discover Emily's betrayal ran deeper than either of us had realized. Because Michael wasn't the only one she'd lied to. The final betrayal. I spent the rest of the day in my apartment, sitting in the dark. The wedding suit hung over a chair, the tie still knotted like a noose I hadn't untied. My phone buzzed over and over. Friends, family, even journalists, who had somehow caught wind of the scene. I ignored them all. Then, at 9:17 p.m., a new message appeared. No name. Just a number I didn't recognize. "You deserve to know everything. Check your email." The email. I opened my laptop. In my inbox was a single email with the subject line, "Proof." There were attachments, bank statements, property records, a few blurry surveillance photos. My pulse quickened as I clicked through them. Emily's name appeared again and again. Joint accounts. Withdrawals. But the shocking part wasn't the amounts, it was the names attached. Not just Michael. 2 other men. Both had been listed as her legal spouses in different states. The pattern? The pieces fell into place with horrifying clarity. Emily wasn't just a runaway bride, she was a serial con artist. She'd marry, drain accounts, disappear, and resurface under a slightly altered name. Michael had been her most recent target before me, but clearly not her only one. One of the photos showed her with yet another man arm in arm in a different city. The timestamp? Just 3 weeks before she met me. I felt sick. Confrontation. I called Michael. He answered on the first ring. "She's done this before," I said without introduction. "More than once." "I know," he replied. "That's why I was desperate to stop you. She's smart. She changes just enough of her story so no one compares notes. Why didn't you tell me everything? Would you have believed me without proof?" I had no answer. The last move. I contacted the police the next morning. They were already familiar with her name, or at least one of them. The detective said they'd been trying to track her down for months. "She's careful," he told me, "but she slipped up this time. Public scene, multiple witnesses, a paper trail. She won't get far." One final message. A week later, I got a letter. No return address, but I knew the handwriting. It read, "You'll never understand. None of you will. Some people survive by taking. You survive by trusting. That's why I'll always be ahead." There was no apology. No sign of remorse. Just a signature, Emily. The moral. I never saw her again. The police said they had leads, but I've learned not to get my hopes up. I lost money, time, dignity, but I gained something too, a sharp instinct for danger, and the knowledge that trust is a gift you don't hand out freely. If you ever find yourself at the altar, and your phone buzzes with a warning, read it. Because sometimes, the stranger at the door isn't there to ruin your life. They're there to save it.